Hey guys, welcome to something a little bit different. With me is Code Avarice, which consists of Michael Maulbeck and Travis Pfenning? Pfenning?
That's correct. Yeah.
Alright, nice. And they are the developers of Paranautical Activity, so why don't you guys say hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Good, good.
I'm still having my little cutout problem, but I'm gonna win
Are
it.
you? Okay. Yeah. Hopefully it's not too terrible. So, having some technical difficulties, obviously, because that's just how things go when you make videos for the internet. But,
Yes.
yeah, so these guys are making Paranautical Activity. If you missed my last video on this, why don't you guys explain what kind of game you're making, and I'll listen.
Well, it's a first-person roguelike. I guess the easiest way to explain it, it's very much like a first-person Binding of Isaac, with some really big Doom inspirations and slightly cube world-ish art style.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and it's very much like the Binding of Isaac. I was kind of wondering, like, my first question is, like, how did you decide to make Paranautical Activity? Was it basically just like, you know, what'd be cool is if there was a first-person Isaac, or is there a little bit more to it than that?
Well, I wanted to make like a Doom-style game because I love like old-school first-person shooters, and then like while the idea was sort of like marinating in my head, I started getting really into Isaac, and I was like, this would make a fantastic first-person shooter. And then I started seeing games like Vox and Cube World with that like cool voxely aesthetic, and I just started like combining the different ideas in my mind, and this is the result.
Yeah,
That
just basically blend together all of the best video games.
basically the stuff I was playing like fall of last year, all melded into one game.
Totally. Yeah, you know, I basically ever since I started playing The Binding of Isaac, and that, by the way, that's a game I'm addicted to. I have like 200 videos of it on the internet. Ever since I started playing that game, I was like, it would be so badass if this was a first-person shooter.
Yeah, totally.
You know, and I was just like, why hasn't anybody done it? Why? And there it is. Yeah, I saw Paranautical Activity. I was like, oh my god, this is everything that I've ever wanted. So I'm really excited about this game.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, it's so much fun to work on too, because like it's just for some reason just adding stuff to it is so simple and quick. Like I can just think of something crazy to add in the morning, and then like 2 hours later have it in the game and just be playing around with it.
That is really awesome. That's really cool. Speaking of which, do you guys have like a long-term like what do you guys think the game will look like when it's done?
I don't like in terms of like visually. I don't know. That's a Travis question very much so, but
Right.
I think a lot of it's going to be very similar to what it is now. Like we're looking to make like exploring every floor more interesting, because right now all there is the gift shop and the boss fight. So we're looking to add more stuff, like maybe like mini bosses and other item rooms and stuff, maybe secret rooms.
Totally.
Just to spice up the floor by floor gameplay, and
Yeah.
of course more content, like more levels, more enemies, more bosses. Of course.
Right. Of course. Yeah, that's actually something I wanted to touch on was, you know, one of the big differences that I see between Paranautical Activity and, like, Isaac and other roguelikes is that right now in its current state, there's not a lot of choices to make, if you know what I mean. Like in Isaac, for example, I'll get into a situation where it's like, okay, I've got one bomb, got to get into the item room. Should I use my one bomb to like look for the secret room, or should I get this chest, maybe get a key out of that, or should I try to get enough for the shop, which I've already opened, or, you know, should I go into the shop, try to get another key there? There's all these choices to make, you know, should I trade my health to the devil, etc., etc. Whereas Paranautical Activity is right now mostly just, you know, beat every room, go to the shop, see if there's any good items in there, kill the boss.
Yeah.
You know, so you guys are definitely like thinking more like choices and stuff like that.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Just making like everything more interesting. I don't want to make it too luck based, because you know it's in its current state it's a very skill based game. Like every shot you can dodge, so whenever you take damage it's your fault. So I want to keep that like focus on like skill, but I would definitely want to add more of like the gambling aspect of like, should I use the bomb for this? Should I use that for this? All that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's an interesting balance for sure, because you're right. Like the less of those decisions you put in, the judgment calls that are based on luck, the more skill based it gets. Here in the video, here's something that I want to point out. Blubber is terrible. Do you guys agree with me?
Well, like the thing, I didn't want to just like straight up rip. I didn't want to straight up rip Deals with the Devil off of Isaac.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of like trading one stat for another, so you like trade health for damage or whatever. So a lot of the items damage you or like change this. Like you'll take Blubber and you'll get a ton of health, but then you have to move really slowly, so you might want to get a speed upgrade later. And Rum, which we added in the last patch, takes 4 hearts away from you, but it gives you a huge fire rate and damage boost. So like if you want to be a glass cannon, you can very much do that. So I like the sort of the give and take of the items. Like every item isn't just like a straight this is better than what you were before. It sort of like allows you to craft a character that fits your playstyle.
Totally. Yeah, I agree with that to a certain extent. Maybe my playstyle is just very focused on mobility, but fuck Blubber, man.
It's a mobility-focused game for sure.
Blubber.
If you can't get out of the way of the shots.
Yeah, exactly. Every time I pick up Blubber, I die immediately. And I think part of that is actually another point. How do you guys feel about an invincibility timer after you get hit?
I knew he was gonna say something about that. I knew he was. I knew.
The game
no.
Definitely have to be
No?
balanced.
No.
No? All right. Well,
that would be Mike's answer to me if I said that. No.
Right. Well, why?
No,
why...
you suck. Learn how to play it.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely need to be balanced. I think the game would need to get a lot harder if there was an invincibility timer. But, like, right now, the majority of the times I've died in this game has actually been, like, I'll walk into a room and not know what's in it, strafe to the left, and it turns out there's one of those, like, demon motherfuckers next to me.
Yeah.
And I'll get hit by, like, 5 shots at once and die. It's like, oh, come on! Paranautical Activity. It's not okay. You know, so...
Like
sorry, go ahead.
This room that we're looking at now, every time we come in, you see the barrels that are underneath those. I always get trapped in there, and then Gilead will turn, hose me down, and then Jim throws like 4 balls at me, and it's like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
done. You
dead.
Move. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like, especially in the permadeath game like that, like the ability to die from full health so very quickly from something that doesn't always feel like your fault, even though it kind of is, you know? Oh man, I just got my ass kicked there, by the way. But yeah, I feel like the invincibility timer would help the pacing a little bit. And then like you get a lot less health drops, obviously, so it's easier to like slowly die, but it's not like it doesn't happen all at once. You're just like, oh come on, I had the greatest run of all time. I actually backed into a demon.
I suppose in that way, Paranautical Activity is sort of similar to Spelunky instead of Isaac.
Yeah.
Like, whereas Isaac, it's very much like a slow burn, like you're like slowly being killed. In Spelunky, like you walk off an edge and then you like get hit by this dude and land on the spikes. You could just die immediately.
Yeah, just bouncing from one thing to the next. Yeah.
Yeah, the knife in the chest every single time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do agree with that. It is Spelunky-like. I don't know. Maybe I've just played too much Isaac, but I personally prefer that. But I mean, obviously, I can get around that. I was just wondering what your guys' thoughts on it.
I mean, it would be hard to do because, like, from a technical perspective, it would be hard to like show the player like when they're having the timed invincibility and whatnot, and like
I don't think
a lot
it's
of like
really,
stuff.
It wouldn't even need to be very long. I don't think it would need to be long enough for that even to be a thing, because the way I see it, it would only need to protect from like that like bam 5 shots in a row that you just backed into, you know. So maybe, you know, quarter second, half second invincibility would be enough to like make you realize, oh, I got hit once, where did that come from? Better not let that happen again.
It's probably something that we're definitely going to try before the game's done, but I'm not going to make any promises just yet.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough.
I love Mike's answers. So open-ended. He's just like, you know what? I'll consider that.
Yeah,
that's a gentle no.
I'll consider it, but
it's a gentle no.
Yeah. You know what else might be good though to kind of help with it is I feel like sometimes, like right now, the only way to know you're getting hit is that little sound cue, and I feel like it might be good to have something visual on the screen. Like maybe Travis, this is more your forte, but like something that lets you know, like, hey, you just took damage.
We have discussed it.
Yeah.
But without becoming, you know, the idea is like. Doom,
look at that! Did you see me get hit there? By the way.
Yeah.
That fucking homing bullet like looped around and hit.
Oh, I hate Lecter. I hate him so bad. I hate him. I hate.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, but that was ridiculous.
All good. Doom had the same thing. Doom was a sound trigger.
Yeah.
That lets you know the sound. You know. And that's it, and that's why it didn't really. I think we have discussed it at one time on how we could do that, and just opted that other things were more important at the time.
Totally.
You know.
Yeah,
think,
it does.
visually displaying the health more, because right now, like with the health just being a number, it can be kind of hard to tell. Like when you have 1 heart left, you have to actually like look down there.
Yeah.
Whereas with like a health bar or like some sort of like visual representation, it would be easier to see like when you're getting low.
Yeah, and maybe even like
you can take like
flashing.
10 hits and not even realize it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it feels very like it just when I play this game, I feel like I'm playing something where the little like niceties aren't added yet. You know, like the little like, hey, you're getting hit, or you know, things like that. So it feels very like I have to keep track of my own shit a lot of the time because it hasn't added the like flashing health bar or whatever that lets me know, which is charming in a way. But I feel like that's something that could definitely be ironed out at some point.
Yeah, that's one of like, it's not like high on my to-do list, but it's something that we definitely have to look into.
Yeah.
Just more feedback for taking damage and all that.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
Still a balance game for sure, without a doubt.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Because
so... I can't even imagine trying to balance a game. That's not my forte.
Well, we are, our process for that is really kind of odd because, like, I will dream up the character. He'll say, we need this kind of a dude. This is his function. And then I'll make the guy. And then as I'm making him, he develops a personality for me. So I'm like, well, maybe he should do this. Maybe he should do that. And then Mike will go off on that and say, well, maybe that won't work. But we could do this. And then we end up with all these different little things with each enemy.
Yeah.
And it's hard to anticipate what we're going to do from time to time. We're always troubleshooting those AI quirks that you wouldn't think about when you're making a game.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't think about as you're playing it, I'm saying. You think about it when you're making it, obviously, but
yeah.
When you're playing
I
it,
love
like,
this boss fight.
Yeah, with this guy, Mr. Freaking Holy Shit, I'm swinging my chainsaw way too much. There's one of those things. It's like I gotta slow that down.
Yeah, he's a little bit spastic, isn't he? I don't know. Yeah, it was effective on me though. I was like, oh shit, what's this guy gonna do to me?
Yeah, he scares you for sure.
Yeah, this is actually my first time ever fighting that guy.
With the freaking crossbow. I hate that weapon. I hate it.
I love the crossbow. Like, I was afraid when you guys said you nerfed the crossbow, I was like, oh man, my favorite weapon's gonna be ruined. But no, I still like it a lot.
Yeah, it's still a good weapon. I feel like right now, we rebalanced the weapons. I think we're very close to like perfecting the weapon balance. There's no gun that's like insanely better or worse than the rest of them.
Yeah, totally.
They all have their ups and downs.
Yep. Yeah, I'm very into like, I love the skill-based weapons where I have to worry about, like lining up shots and making the arc work and stuff like that. So the crossbow is like ideal for me. I get such a kick out of that gameplay. So yeah, crossbow definitely for me. By the way, found an interesting bug recently when I was playing. I think I told you about this on Twitter actually.
Yeah, I think so.
I had a bolt drawn, tried to pick up like an M14, and then I couldn't like shoot. And then when I picked up the crossbow again, the bolt wouldn't release. It was just always drawn back, and I couldn't get it to go. So I just had to start my run over.
I got that happens. That also happens when you pause the game, right?
Yes, that's when I was getting it all the time. I had mentioned it to him, and we're still trying to mess with it and figure out what the hell the problem is with it. But it usually does it for me when I pause, because I'll have to pause to talk to him while I'm playtesting or whatever.
Sure.
And then it draws back, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, yeah. Then you just you click and it just draws back again. It's like, oh come on, man.
Yeah, and no projectile comes out, so you're like, oh shit, I gotta restart the whole.
I think I fixed.
But I do that when I see the
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? Okay.
So you got it when you swapped weapons.
Yeah, when you pick up a new weapon, it like saves the state of the crossbow somehow and like reverses the function of the click. Is weird.
Yeah.
Don't really know exactly.
I hate glitches like that because like that doesn't even make sense. Like I'm looking at the code and like, why is this happening? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. This is some sort of weird thing.
I'd rather have a glitch where like an enemy like falls through a wall or something, because then I'd be like, all right, there's something wrong with the collision geometry. I can do that.
I had that.
When it's just
today, actually.
Yeah. The damn whale always falls through the wall.
Does it? What? I've never seen that one.
I think it happens like once every like 20 runs. It's not frequent, but.
Yeah, how does he just like start swimming away?
Yeah, like he'll like get his tail
they're
stuck
outside of the wall or something.
He gets his tail stuck in the wall, and then like the collision physics try to correct it, and they're just like pulling him out of the wall, and he's just trying to get free, but he can't. and he just gets sucked out. Actually, pretty fun to watch.
That is really
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I want that.
I sat today, and it happened to me for the first time today, and I sat there with a grenade launcher, and he had two of the moths spawned, but I couldn't see them. They were outside of the walls. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I've gotten this far because I frankly suck at this game. Anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm shooting at the walls trying to hit him because I managed to kill Dobie himself, but I couldn't find the Lecter, so I'm sitting there literally probably like 7 minutes or so or longer, and I'm just like shooting at the walls, you know, spacing out on the music and everything and just having a good time. And I was just like, well, I'm not even shooting at anything. It was fun though. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
That's really good. Yeah.
Bugs can be entertaining.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
They often are, in my experience.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Lecters, those are the moths that shoot homing bullets, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like those homing bullets are pretty aggressive.
Yeah. Actually, like I think it was the day before we released the original version of the game, I was playing and I was like, well, I never really get hit by these homing bullets. Wonder what happens if I like triple the homingness of them.
Oh,
and I was like,
Jesus.
all right, this is good. Yes.
Yeah, for real.
I've had those bullets follow me through 2 rooms, and I don't notice they're there, and then I stop and they hit me. I'm like, oh, come on.
They come through the door, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They go through the door. They like, and you saw earlier in this run, actually, I had one of the greatest ones ever. I was done with the room, just looking around, turn around to go into the shop, and one of the bullets comes up behind me and hits the exploding barrel and blows me up.
That's
It's like
awesome.
this MacGyver machine of awfulness.
That's kind of funny because we don't use any alpha maps yet in any of this, so there's literally no geometry inside of those windows. So it's possible for the projectiles to travel through them. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It wasn't intended by any means. We just weren't. You know, there's no textures. The only textures you see are on the walls.
Right.
And they're still done in 24-bit or something really stupidly low, so it has that pixel look to it. When they were originally all cubes and tiled, so we had a learning curve in there when we were like hogging processing power and stuff. It's like all of a sudden there's 4 enemies in the room. It's like, wow, this thing won't even run. What the hell? It's like, well, maybe that's the 600,000 hidden faces that are in the room that the engine's trying to generate.
Because all the walls are made out of real voxels originally, and now they're just like flat planes with textures on them.
Yeah.
But when they were real voxels, like we had cubes on every single room. We had these like, I think there were 48 or 64 by 64 voxel rooms, and so we were drawing like millions and millions of faces.
Yes.
It's just totally unnecessary because the walls aren't destructible or anything, so we don't need real voxels for the walls.
Mm-hmm.
So once we fixed that, performance went through the roof.
Totally, yeah. Speaking of destructible environments, making a voxel-based game, destructible environments in the future at all?
I don't like when I was originally like way back, like 2 months before we even started working on the game, like I was thinking about like having these really cool destructible environments. I was like dreaming up the algorithms for like automatically filling in the holes so it would like work all procedurally and stuff. And with like now that like the game actually exists and I'm playing it, I'm trying to think of like an application for some sort of destructible environment. I can't think of anything really useful. Like you could like blow your way through a wall or something, but
yeah, like
I was thinking
feel like
props. I'm thinking destructible props, and we've been dealing with this environment issue for a while. With the fact that it's procedurally generated, it's a pain in the ass because we can only do so many things with it and keep it still true to its roguelike form. You know what I mean? So we've been tossing around these props and saying, okay, so what if the props blow up? And people have been saying from the field, well, we can't really tell it's on a ship. We're planning on changing this for everyone so that you're all of a sudden it's going to start to become realized as you progress through the levels. But that was also one of our discussions on is how do we create that simulated, destructible environment without having to deal with destructing the walls, because the only reason they get away with that with the other stuff is because it's primarily 2D.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot easier for them to do that. And when you're generating all these blocks, I mean, it takes some serious processing power to try to pull that off. Unless we were to quarantine certain spots of the walls and say, okay, yeah, this one's miraculously going to blow up, which wouldn't really make a lot of sense.
That is true, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking more like specific types of walls that will show up in some places that can be blown up.
Right, because Doom used to
Yeah.
mark those with lighting. They used to mark it
Yeah.
and say, hey, there's something different about this. And this is what we were talking about. We were talking about putting in secret rooms. We just haven't, now that we moved to the planes idea with the outer walls, right now we're dealing with windows, to tell you the truth. There's going to be windows coming up in hopefully, if we can work it out in the next patch, which will also lead into that same kind of thing. Is if we can pull it apart like that, maybe we can do something like that. But I mean, we're trying to keep the workload down here right now. It's 16 hours a day. It's pretty rough as it is,
Oh man, yeah.
I tell you what, we put hours in like you work. We'll put 2 of your days in one sitting without a problem. No doubt.
Yeah, quite impressive.
Seriously,
Sometimes
we
even
work
more than
very
that.
hard.
Yeah, I was really shocked, to be honest, when I saw the new build of Paranautical Development and how much just stuff had been done. Like because it was so little after I had discovered the game, and already it's like, wow, totally new game. Okay, cool.
It's like
Yeah.
2 weeks of work, and it feels like it's a totally different game.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It was like
Yeah.
towards the end of developing that patch, though. I love watching Let's Plays of the game. It's so cool to like watch people play it, and I'd be
Wasted,
watching Let's
yeah.
Plays of the game and stuff, and I'd be like watching, and I'd be like, no, it's so much better now. I want to like hide.
Yeah,
I want to
me
hide
too.
all the old stuff in a corner and just be like, no, you have to like, look at this. So
Totally.
much better.
Yeah,
Well,
I guess-
especially before the textures were on the walls, because everybody was whining about, oh, this looks like it could be in a mansion. It could be this. That stuff was really making me angry.
Yeah.
And it was. And I'm like, Mike, we're going to fix this. You know what I mean? We had other things that were more pressing than that. But environment became a huge thing for that last patch. It's just like, you know what? It's got to happen. And this is what we came up with. I'm pretty happy with it.
It looks great, man.
Thank
I'm really a fan of the art style. There are some people
Thank you
like
very much.
there are a lot of people online who will just hate on an art style because it's voxel based, because like people have been trained to think it's cool to hate Minecraft, I think.
Yeah.
I don't get when people say this game looks like Minecraft though, because it doesn't. It looks like
Right.
if anything, it looks like Cube World, if anything, or Vox.
Yeah,
But it-
absolutely.
It really
it
doesn't
looks
look anything
I
like
think it looks
Minecraft.
Cube.
I don't
think
think
it
it looks like Minecraft
cool.
either, but people just do this pattern matching thing. They're like, "Hey, this
Yeah.
is made of squares. You know what
I
else
see
is
90
made out of
degree
squares?"
angles here.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking
Yeah, and
Minecraft.
that's
This
all
game
it is.
sucks.
It's-
Minecraft ripoff. I actually had somebody call this a Minecraft ripoff on my video. I was like, "Are you kidding me, man?" Like,
It's just ridiculous.
yeah,
Like it's stuff like that I just can't take offense to because it's just like it doesn't even make sense.
It's hilarious.
yeah. It's just like an 11-year-old kid who does not
like,
understand
yeah,
what he's
it's
looking
like,
at. It's like, come on.
Who are you, dude? You know?
Yeah, it's
Where's
insanity.
your game? That's my favorite thing to say.
Right?
Where's your game? I
Yeah,
want to see your game.
totally. Totally. Yeah. Just obviously, you guys know this, being people who produce things that go on the internet. But yeah, you kind of just have to ignore most negative
Yeah.
things people say about your video games.
It sucks though because like the more success you get, the more people hate you. Because I remember like a year or two ago when we first started, like no one cared what we made. Like occasionally people would be like, "Oh yeah, that's kind of cool," and like we started making cooler and cooler stuff, and then like. It's weird because the better the stuff gets, the more hate you get. You'd think you'd be like getting people praising you for making cool stuff, but
Yeah,
know,
people
Yeah.
love to drag you down.
I,
It's
kinda
like
sad.
that. It's like that in the music business too, man. It's just like, but that's what I've always said. Coming from the music business, is that when you have people that do not like you for no reason at all, in the things that you do, you are successful. Bottom line, you're
exactly.
successful. You know,
Yeah,
because I've
yeah,
got
when
your
people-
attention.
when people who hate you know about you, that's when you're doing well.
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had our moments. I mean, we don't get mad about a lot of stuff, but there have been a couple conversations between me
Yeah.
and Mike where I'm thinking like, so you want to DDoS this guy, or what do you want to do? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Mike's always, he's like, no, and then I'm like, no, be cool. We talk each other down from time to time because we get mad because people will say, but that happens very rarely, and we're getting very used to
emotional
that now, and we
feedback.
just kind of laugh it off. We think it's
Yes,
Most
funny.
of the feedback we've been getting is really good though.
Yeah,
seem to be-
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm actually disappointed by how little exposure you guys seem to have on YouTube, which is kind of my thing. I'm hoping that more people
Yeah.
pick up the game as it goes, because this is I think you guys have made a very let's playable game.
Yeah,
Here.
for sure.
It really lends itself to that. So hopefully more of the community picks that up. I think that could be a big thing for you guys. For
Definitely.
sure. But you'll also get a lot of hate because that's just what YouTube is. Just a bunch of
I'll
people
take the
angry
hate
about
with the
things.
success any
Totally.
day.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. I appreciate it. I love it. I enjoy it.
So I really like the new monsters we're seeing on these floors. By the way, those like monkeys are they that just go back and forth between the ceiling and the floor?
No, that's Genghis.
Genghis.
He is the only enemy that exists in Avarice. He's almost like our mascot. You don't see him up close because he's so fast in this game, but I remade him just recently, and we wanted to make him pretty devastating. Originally, Mike had 4 of them in the room.
Yeah.
I don't know if this build does or not, but when that was it, he was like, dude, they just hosed me. They took me right out. And he's, he plays it all day, every day.
Yeah.
I don't, I play it like I sat down and played it after beta for a whole day straight because I don't usually do that. I'm just like, he says, I need something. I'm like, boom, done. I'm just sitting here cranking stuff out. So, but he obviously has to play test it and stuff.
Totally.
And when he got it in there, he said that he was like, Angus just wrecked me, man. That was awesome. But then we had to dumb it down.
Crazy overpowered. Like,
Yeah.
when we first added him to the game, he I think he had like 3 times the player's default move speed, and I had like 8 of them in a room at once. Like you'd get to the 4th floor, and if you had a Genghis room, you would just like, all right, time to go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
There was no way to beat him, and he hit you. I think it was he hit you 4 times a second or something.
Oh my god.
So like if one of them got close to you, it was just over. So I crazy nerfed him before we released the patch. It's just nuts.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, has he been nerfed? Because I never had too much trouble with him, except for that one room you guys saw when he was chasing me around.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm
they
thinking
don't,
about speeding him up just a little bit.
I think that would probably be wise if you want him to be.
Because now he's slightly slower than the player's default move speed. So
Right.
even if you go in with like no upgrades, you can still outrun him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Though
bitch.
I mean, on the other hand, having a fast enemy that relies on being fast to hit you is gonna make Blubber even worse.
Yeah.
That's gonna make Blubber really bad.
I love this boss right here.
This is great. Yeah. What's this guy's name?
He's got like 3 names.
It's got 2 names right now, and I haven't decided because originally the name was Lucretia, but he's like saying, well, I don't know about that.
Lucretia. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, Lucretia is a name, like I'm a metalhead, so, and that's the name of a song by Megadeth.
Okay.
About a witch, and she's actually a banshee. And then I decided I was going to name it Alfabala from Wicked, from the Wizard of Oz. It's the actual real name of the Wicked Witch of the West. So I was just kind of going off. They were kind of weird names. So
Come up with the weirdest names, man.
yeah, I enjoy that kind of stuff. I get off
Totally.
on that.
Yeah, that's really. I like when games have weird names like that.
I do weird things
or
too. Like,
things in games rather.
I do weird things with the models too, though. Like Gilead, the big horn guy. That's a direct love for Doom. That's a Doom character to a certain extent. I mean, he was designed like that. Lecter, the moth, is the moth from Silence of the Lambs. If you look at the cover of Silence of the Lambs, if you could see Lecter's back, he has the skull on his back and stuff. You don't really get to see it in game, but I do weird things like that. I'm a very subliminal artist. I like to put really odd things in there, like the guys who throw the bombs at you. Those are old Warcraft, World of Warcraft RTS goblin sappers.
Ah.
I do really strange things like that all the time.
He's a weird guy.
Yeah. Well, I'm an artist. I do my thing.
Yeah, you kind of have to be at that point.
Yeah, I just sit around and exist in my own world and watch you give the things I make brains, which is amazing. And then I get to watch people like you, Green, go around and have a great time playing it. It's the ultimate form of art for me, man.
Yeah,
I
it's really
love it.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on and doing this little interview with me. Really appreciate being able to talk to you guys. This was a lot of fun.
No problem. Thanks
And
for having
thank
us.
you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, so everybody out there, remember this is Code Avarice, Michael Maulbeck, and Travis
Maulbeck.
Pfenning. Maulbeck, sorry.
No, it's Pfenning. It's Pfenning. No,
Pfenning.
it's
Oh,
silent.
okay, Pfenning. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's good though. Thank you though.
And they are selling Paranautical Activity, the beta, for $10 on Desura. I'll leave a link down below. You guys should go check that out and check out their website. That'll be in there as well.
Keep a lookout for Steam.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Or do you guys have a Greenlight page?
We do.
We do.
We're also talking with Adult Swim about maybe bypassing the green light process.
That would be awesome as well.
So
Yeah, Adult Swim just put out Super House of Dead Ninjas, which was
yes, I want to try that so
fantastic.
bad, but I haven't had the time yet.
They
Yeah,
brought
it's a great
awesome.
game, man.
they brought that up in our meeting. Actually, they said that was the only. That's an FPS, right?
No.
It's a like a side-scrolling roguelike.
Okay, because he made some comparison to because they didn't have. They're supposed to be putting out this package or whatever, and we were the only FPS in. But there was another one, sort of. He was saying, I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought that was the one. I don't mean to. I digress.
We were talking to some guy from Adult Swim on the phone. He was talking really fast though. Didn't really catch most of what he was saying.
Yeah, the spiel came quick. He's like, all right, got a lot of stuff to do. Peace out, brothers.
It's definitely that was definitely a practiced speech he had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Meeting
Well, I
tomorrow,
hope you
though.
guys have luck with that. That would
Yeah.
be awesome if you guys could get it on Steam. And I'll definitely leave a link to your Greenlight page as well, just in case that doesn't pan out for you guys. And
Okay,
For
man.
sure.
yeah, everybody out there, follow this. It's a cool game.
Sweet.
See you guys later.
Peace.